Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And I have to apologize for the late start this evening, but I have new surroundings. Yes, I'm still in the Dominican Republic. Yes, we're still doing SSN Nation Takeover 2024. And I needed to relax today, and I over-relaxed a little bit too long. So, forgive me once again for the late start, but thank you so much for hanging and being here this evening for the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream, where it's members only that can be in the chat room. Everybody else can watch, but tonight on Wednesdays, only members with the icon can be in the chat room and chat with us. Now, let's talk about billionaire or millionaire for you. Set new goals or feel the financial pain that's coming. Upper middle class is where you're going to have to end up. And that means we got to look at what makes those billionaires and millionaires money. People may be confused, but I don't want anybody going forward to be confused on what you have to do if you want to make a lot of money. Sure, it helps to have special skills, but we'll get into that shortly. Come along for the ride and welcome. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, make sure you share the videos. Why? Because there's a lot of people out here not realizing the effort, the time, the energy that's needed to become wealthy. By becoming wealthy, if somebody told you 5 years ago that 100,000, 150,000 people would be living paycheck to paycheck, you would have probably said, what are you talking about? But here we are. That's what's going down. And so therefore, if a person generally is making like 150, 100,000, 200,000, yeah, they would be millionaires in a shorter time span than most. But in this case, the way the cost of living is increasing, and it will not go down because corporations run the world. They're not going to be reducing their prices, not to save you. So you have to make more money. So keep that in mind. This will be the theme for the rest of the year. Now, let's get into those things that matter. And that is you, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see who's in the house tonight. We have Laverne Penix here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And he has that icon next to his name, which I humbly appreciate. And he brings his tagline this evening. Hello, SSN Nation. I hope everyone is doing well. I received a notification and the trailer. That's one person that's received a notification and saw the trailer. So I got to raise the roof, smash the like button every time. And he's also known. That's right. Laverne Penix is known in this YouTube street as Mr. Cool. Mr. Cool is here, a real estate investor, a business manager's own right. Victor Marrero. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. Our soon-to-be retiree, T-minus 45 days or so. So it's going to be a blast. And he's another investor extraordinaire. He, too, has that icon that I humbly appreciate as well next to his name. And he brings his tagline this evening. Hello, all. Let's do this. That's what we talk about here. We have to do something. We can't sit idly by in a capitalist system. In fact, the whole world is a capitalist system. I shouldn't talk about this, but I'm going to have to. Let me put it to you another way. The whole world is like what they used to say in that song, a ghetto. Just because you live in America and you're used to a certain way of life, there's some people that barely have a dollar or two to their name, or they may only earn a dollar or two for the whole day. So what happens? They are being taken advantage of. What do I mean by that? Well, if I have a corporation and I know you make $3 a day, well, I'm going to move my corporation over there and make sure you get paid $3 per day. Do you think I'm going to pay you crazy wages? If it's $3 a day, I'm going to say, oh, yeah, you know, you deserve $50 a day. The odds of that occurring is so slim because we have proof around the world if you look hard enough. But this isn't the subject matter tonight. I just wanted to give you an idea that you have to find out. The world is very bad. People take people's passports, keep them in the place that they wanted to come work, and tell them, yes, we were going to pay you $50 an hour, but since you're here and we have your passport, you can't leave, so we're going to pay you $5 per hour. That's how this works in a lot of places around the world. So don't be confused. You can fall into this category anytime that you can't keep up financially in a capitalist system. So let's get into it. Here we go with Victor Marrero starting it off with stock market was on fire today. The stock market is going to be on fire for the rest of the year. Let's get real. We know they are going to reduce the interest rate. The Federal Reserve will reduce the interest rate. We know that. When is it going to happen? It's now June. I think they've done their year over year to keep the inflation rate where they want it by manipulation, by not increasing the federal funds rate or the Federal Reserve rate. That meant for a whole year almost, they are just going to say, well, see, the inflation rate went up to 7, 8, 9, 10, but over the last year, it's only went up like 2%. See, we did it. Never mind, you're paying more for everything because we have price gouging. There is no price gouging laws in the United States. So therefore, record profits for damn near every major company. Record profits means they had to charge us a hell of a lot more than normal. And you paid it because you had stimulus money, you had extra unemployment money, you had PPP loans, you had EIDL loans, you had all this money coming in, and now people are spending $100,000 for an F-150. This is crazy. This is madness. And this means upper middle class wipeout is about to commence. All right. Since it is Wealthy Wednesday night live stream and NVIDIA splitting 10 to 1 this Friday in 2 days, that's the opportunity we have been waiting for. Share will be around 120 this Friday. I agree. I think it's going to be somewhere between 120 and 125. Time to go hard. Let it rip. Exactly. I have to agree with you 110% on this. Again, you can either buy before or you can buy after, but I like to do after. And it's not going to mean much, but if it does go at, let's just say $1,200 and it ends up being 120, if it goes down to 115, I would not be surprised. If it goes up to 125, the first day, I will not be surprised. I always wait, like I tell everybody. I take a gamble sometimes. $3, $4 in either direction kind of doesn't matter. But if it does drop $5 to $10, it's better to buy it at the $5 to $10 less rate, right? And to get several shares. And then if it goes up to 125, 130, then you're in the money. And you should be in the money for life. Well, not for life, but for quite a few years, because NVIDIA is the AI chip of choice right now. People have to catch up. So therefore, all the rest will catch up, but they have a lead right now, and a huge lead. Now, very good advice from Victor Marrero, and this is what's going to happen. Brian P., welcome. to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream with that icon. I humbly appreciate next to your name. That means there's members of the channel, ladies and gentlemen. You can become a member too. Hit that money button on the mobile or look for that join button on our YouTube channel page. Everybody on podcast, hey, you got to hit that subscribe and like button as well. All right. He says his tagline, hello, Eric. I hope all is well with you. Yes, it is. Hello, SSN family. Smash that like button. Brian P. He's also has his name here in the YouTube street, Mr. Dividend. He's back. He got back in the game. And we know he left me a message. MSTY. Hey, dividends from Yield Max ETFs. I like it. Yes, I did get those emails. Yes, I might even show one of them. Misty, MSTY, $3.03 per share. Yes, thank you so much. I have some MSTY. That's all I can say. I have it. You have your Robinhood and Webull apps. You guys got your free shares of stock yet? If you haven't, the links are down below in the description box. Go get your free shares of stock and go check out MSTY. Go check out NVDY. Go check out CNY. Well, is that right? Coinbase one? CNY. Check out AMZY. Check out TSLY, which is very interesting. So we're going to find out how far that's going to go. Victor Marrero, he says, what you have to be careful is for the orders over the weekend, especially from overseas. You may wake up Monday morning and the NVIDIA shares can be over 200. That's the risk. It won't be over 200, but you're right. That's why I always wait usually 48 to 72 hours after a split, because just like you said, there could be either direction. If it goes down 5 to 10, buy. If it goes up 5 to 10, you can still buy. But the point is, I usually wait pretty much almost 3 days. Actually, I say 48 to 72, but I give myself anywhere from 48, 72 to 80, roughly. So another 24-hour cycle, 96. So it's in those ballparks, and that basically it's almost like 72 hours. But nonetheless, I'm just saying what I normally do. So I'm not going to change. I'm not going to buy right now. I'll wait till the split. We'll see what it shows on Wednesday of next week or Tuesday, see what it looks like. All right. We'll go from there. But I don't think it'll be 200, but he has a point. So we'll see what happens. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's get to the elephant in the room, because again, a lot of people aren't going to say it, but I'm going to say it. Nobody's going to say it. Just like 5 years ago when I said the middle class is going to get wiped out, and it has. What was middle class before? What, $50,000 to $70,000, $75,000, $80,000 a year was middle class? You can forget that now. You can't live on that damn near now. So middle class is going to be 120, 110, 115, 150. That means the upper middle class is about to get wiped out. So hopefully you guys follow, because you got 3 years. That's it. After that, if you're not making like 200, 250 as a household, you're going to be in trouble. All right. It's going to be that simple. It doesn't matter who is the president. Does not matter who's in Congress. Does not matter, because corporations are all based on we need 10% more. When you start the snowball effect, just like our dividend investing, after we have $1 trillion, 10% more in profit, this starts being 100 million, 200 million. That means they're making more revenue in order to have profits of 100 million. So this starts getting crazy. And where do you think they're going to be getting that 100 million from? You. It's going to cost you more money to buy goods and services, regardless. There's no way to keep that up. So here we go. Let's see. I know I picked up 350 shares, says Brian P. Brian P. Yes, sir. Unbelievable. Misty is 3 and NVIDIA is 2.5, $2.56. Exactly. We're doing the salsa dance this Friday. Exactly, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? I just realized this has come to fruition after a year and a half. Can you believe a year and a half went by when Brian P. Victor Marrero were talking about yield max ETFs. And could you imagine having bought them at half the price and getting these type of returns? Can you imagine buying something for $10, $12 and getting every month $1.30 or $2 or $3? I mean, this is insane. And here we are. Time has flown by, and it was right there all along. And so salsa dance it is for everyone. And it's awesome. Now, how do we get there? Well, you guys, we talked about stocks right now. Well, I got good news for you and I have bad news for you. But we're going to go with the good news first. Why? Because how most billionaires made their money, which are also millionaires, we're going to go with that. All right? We're just going to go with that first. Let's go see, where's it at? I got to get this up. Here we go. They show Warren Buffett, which is nice. That's cute. But here it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is so interesting. First of all, how many billionaires and millionaires, first of all, billionaires are there? Well, they've shrunk. It's roughly around 2,500 to 2,700 in the world out of 8+ billion people. Only 2,500 people. If 2,500 people are the only ones that have billions out of 8.6 billion people on the planet, that means they must have something that a whole bunch of people don't. And I will say this, if there's only about 60 to 65 million millionaires on the planet, that means out of 8.6 billion, you can understand there's a consolidation of power. How is it that they have this limited amount of people with millions of dollars? That's incredible when you think about it. You are still talking about, you add those two groups together, we're still talking about 8.2? This is crazy. 8.2 billion. This is crazy. This is real crazy. I haven't even done the numbers, but it's still 8 billion people, ladies and gentlemen, that are not millionaires on the planet or a billionaire. That's incredible when there's only 8.6. Think about it. What do you think is going to happen when you have a consolidation of power? That means they get to control the cash flow. It's just like a Monopoly game. All right, here we go. Here we go. Everybody gets these stories from all these people online. This is why I do this at least twice a year, because people will say real estate is number one. That's the richest, how the richest people made their money. Okay, not true. People will say, oh, it's this business that made the most. It's not true. Here's what makes the most. Being in finance, whether private equity or hedge funds or venture capital, is the most common way the world's wealthiest got rich. So is it no wonder that if people actually went to school, actually graduated from Harvard, Yale, Berkeley, USC, all these places that get you into Princeton, one of my favorite places. I almost went there. But nonetheless, you graduate from there and you get into Saks Fifth Avenue, for instance. You are now in the world of finance, private equity, hedge funds, venture capital, and they're right around the corner with all the big boys right next to you in New York or Jersey. So when people think going to Harvard, Yale, wherever, those Ivy League schools or one of these big time colleges, Stanford, and it doesn't matter, it matters. Your pedigree matters in the world of business and finance, and it's number one. So a lot of people right now are in school and they go, I don't care about mathematics. I don't care about accounting. I don't care about any of this equity and stocks and and making any deals. That it's number one, ladies and gentlemen. It's number one. It's hard work mathematically in your head, but it's really easy once you understand what's going on. But that's the area you need to be in. That's number one. Now, I'm not going to say anything. We have a top 10 list, right? They actually compiled it for us, so it's all good. But number one, finance, private equity, hedge funds, venture capital, which also means derivatives. You guys know I've been talking about derivatives for 5 years. This is our 6-year anniversary. All right. So I will not change, because in finance, private equity, hedge funds, and venture capital, it's always derivatives. You're either putting money out and then you're carrying some paper or that asset. You can resell the asset, or why resell it when I can actually borrow against the increased value? And then I can go buy another piece of assets that ordinary citizens can't buy, because now I get to buy stuff at millions of dollars. You're out of the loop. Only about less than 50 million people in the world can buy it. All right, let's get into it a little bit more. Since I'm on that screen, let's go see. Brian P., I see you. Yes, okay. So I'm on the other screen. Okay. In fact, nearly 1 in 6 billionaires, or just over 15%, made their money in finance and investments. Okay. I hate to toot our horn, but here in the SSN Nation, I've been telling you to buy assets that pay you. Don't listen to these guys out here talking about buy assets and then set it on the sideline and look at it. That does nothing. No, assets pay us. That's why it's finance and investments for 1 in 6 of the billionaires. 427 individuals hail from countries as mixed as Estonia, Kazakhstan, Japan, and the US. That's up from 372 names a year ago, which goes to my point. They are out here making 10% on hundreds of millions of dollars. You can't keep up. We can't keep up. That means they're going to make more. If they have $1 trillion at their disposal, which they have more than that, but let's just say they had $1 trillion. Again, 10% net operating income after expenses, 100 million. Okay. When the lower 70% of the population don't even make up half of the wealth. So what I'm trying to get you to understand is, if we have 70% of the population doesn't even equal what the billionaires make, then how, and by percentages, they make 100 million. So what if we make 30 collectively? That's 8 billion people. Are you getting it now? This is why the upper middle class is about to get wiped out. You can't keep up. We can't keep up. They make 100 million while everybody else makes 30 million. That's about the equation. Clearly. Now, and never mind if something crazy drastic happens like 20% or 30%. These guys are making 300 million while the 8 billion people are making 90. You're not going to be able to catch up, and the 8 billion are split into 90. That's pennies. And then it drops off. But anyhow, I hope everybody understands it's a mathematical equation, is your financials in life. So therefore, you have to be in where they're in. So when we talk about investments, when we talk about finance, you need to be in the game. All right. Now, these billionaires also include bankers, fintech founders, and full-time investors are worth 2.17 trillion in all. You see what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? I wasn't that far off when we start talking about trillions. This is how much these guys are holding. And nearly 2/3 are richer than 2023. Again, how much more do I have to keep saying after 5 years? But we have new people here who don't know about the SSN Nation. We bring the cold hard facts. This way you can plan your future. So now you understand where you have to be. Warren Buffett added 27 billion. See, it's no problem when you have the assets. It's a problem when you don't. So they're living life large. All right, I'm going to skip down because I'm going to put this link in the chat room so people can read this themselves. All right, go check it out. Here we go. Let's go. This time I'm going to let it reinvest dividend for me each month. I'm glad to hear that, Brian P. You have to, man. You have no choice with those hefty dividends. All right, here we go. Number one, finance and investments, 427. Number two, is it a surprise that there's technology involved? Once again, technology, finance and investments are all thin air. I mean, basically, technology means like Amazon, Washington Post. Okay, they're talking about Jeff Bezos here, but technology, once again, it can be a derivative. So the fact is, if I say I have a new technology, what we have right now, AI, you have a boom. It's making billionaires, right? So we can turn that into something. So again, that's why 1 and 2, hey, let's call it what it is. You got 427 billionaires in the number 1 category, 342 in technology. Manufacturing, oh, I love this. I love this again. Notice this is all business related. So when somebody tells you you just should be a worker and don't worry about doing any extracurricular activity, no side jobs, no side hustles, no extra businesses or doing anything, I hope you're noticing all of the billionaires do business. People see billionaires and millionaires on yachts and boats, but this is the billionaires list. But nonetheless, and you think they just lounge like that all the time. Do you really? These guys have many businesses, many investments. Do you really think that a successful person is allowing somebody else to make all the decisions for them? I hate to break the news to you. No, they're not on yachts. No, they're not on their own private jets all the damn time. No, they are out here slaying dragons. Somebody's trying to get them off their perch, take advantage. They're trying to get their part of the pie, like me, like you should be. So therefore, they know somebody's trying to take their lunch money. They know somebody's trying to get them out of the number 1 spot all the time. So do you really think they're handing over the reins completely to some, let's call it right-hand man, when the right-hand man didn't actually come up with the ideas of everything? Hell no. We got to report in. What's up? That's what you're going to have to do, right? So look at this, top 3, manufacturing. Let's go to number 4. Hold on a second. Let's go down. Fashion and retail. Oh, I'm shocked. With everybody so on these social media platforms, fashion and retail, people always have to show what? Their jewelry, their clothes with their insignia of other people on them. Shoes with the swoosh seems to be very popular, right? Clothing lines, everything, and you're wearing other people's gear, showing it off, advertising for them. And you think fashion and retail would not be in the top 10 list of billionaires? You're doing all the damn work for them. Out here going to Louis Vuitton, going down to all these high-end stores, the Gucci's, the Coaches, it's crazy when you think about it. Like I said, shout out to my boys in France, Louis Vuitton. I mean, come on, man. I just get a kick out when we're in Paris. And people know when you're at the Champs-Elysees, it's right around the corner. And they got bouncers at the door, the red carpet, the rope. And I'll just crack up and I see people in line waiting to get in there to spend thousands of dollars for a bag that's maybe only this big. That's crazy to me. It just boggles my mind. And here we are where we have the billionaire class controlling like 70% of the wealth. It's incredible. It's really incredible. And you're buying from these guys. Food and beverage. Okay, once again, you guys, are you paying attention? First, you have these finance and investments. Then you have technology. Then you have the manufacturing, because somebody has the manufacturer and then you send it to the consumer base. Then somebody wears our special gear, buys our special vodka, buys our special tequila, buys our special whatevers. You guys are out here doing it. And these guys are actually manufacturing, and you're buying it, and you keep buying it. It's crazy. And even if they raise the price, you go, oh man, it's so awesome. I've spent $5,000 on their stuff. It's beautiful, man. Look at that insignia. Everybody thinks I'm cool, but you're getting drained. Food and beverage is next. Notice all these businesses serve the masses. It's not like just one, two little niche things. These are serving the masses worldwide. Food and beverage. Are you paying attention? So when you think you're starting a business and you go, hey, it's only good for, I'm doing this business, think about worldwide. Don't just think about your own city, your own state, your own country. These guys are worldwide. All right. Look at this, 210 billionaires. And Zong, which I don't know this guy's name, Shen, chairman of bottle company Nong Fu Spring, controls probably listed. This is crazy. Now, diversified, I find this very interesting, which holds interest in petrochemicals, oil, gas, retail, and telecommunications. This is what I like IEP, the stock IEP for. The Icon Group, this is what I like about them, because they do this same type of thing. It's not just in one thing that's the billionaires are in. They're into 3 or 4 different things the billionaires class is in. So diversified is another great one. But has anybody noticed real estate's not on this list yet? I'm hoping people pay attention to that. All right. I'm hoping you pay attention to it, but it's coming up. Don't worry. Healthcare, obviously, healthcare was designed. All right. I'm not even going to get into it. Just read how Richard Nixon and what's the name? Kaiser. In the late 60s, early 70s, Kaiser, which ends up being Kaiser Permanente, they actually put forth this whole healthcare initiative, and Nixon actually signed on because they realized they could soak the American public and consumers by actually making them get insurance. Then they made it where there's not universal insurance. Then it's going to have to be state-to-state insurance, because all the healthcare places aren't in every state. So then they blocked where you could actually get healthcare at lower rates. So this is where we're at today. So of course there's billionaires in the healthcare industry, because we have to have pharmaceuticals, right? Here we go. Dilip Shangvi, founder and managing director of Sun Pharmaceutical Industries. What a shock. That's not a shocker. They're trying to make you sick. So obviously you should be in the pharmaceutical business, or natural food business, or natural health business, or fitness, workout, mental, physical health. All of that goes under the healthcare initiative, psychology, sociology, right? All of this comes into play. Chiropractor, all of this comes into play, but this one guy knows where the money is, the drugs. Healthcare drug business is where you need to be. All right? I just got to say it. And legally, you don't. Here's the thing. A lot of people think they got to do this. This boggles my mind. There's some people that's going to find my channel and they're saying, yeah, man, we sell coke, we sell heroin, we sell all these other drugs, ecstasy, whatever. I'm just like, if you're doing that, you can sell regular drugs. Why don't you become a pharmaceutical executive, salesperson? It's the same damn thing, except now you're getting paid legally and hundreds of $1,000s per year. And you also know how to run a business if you're already doing that. So why are you wasting your time where you're going to get arrested? All the cops have to do, or the feds have to be correct one time. Meanwhile, you got to dodge everything every day, every time. Sooner or later, dead or jail. Either way, you're not going to escape. So this is just a shout out for everybody that's out there doing illegal pharmaceutical activity. I'm just saying, just get the legal pharmaceutical industry, go and learn it, get in. And I'm not talking about the weed business either, because that federally is still not legal. But nonetheless, real estate is next. It's number 8 on the list. So dispel all the rumor about all these people running around. Real estate's number one way that billionaires made their money. It is not, because real estate requires a 2-step process. One is you have to acquire it. And how you acquire it, yes, there's many different ways you can acquire it. But you're not going to be able to acquire $1 billion as an ordinary citizen with one deal. You're going to need several. And there's other people out here looking for deals as well. So that's why it dwindles to 190 billionaires. And they say, once again, it's Hong Kong, it's China, India, it's these other areas that have been making it the hay. And the richest is Li Xiaoqi. And it says Sung Hung Kai and Henderson Land Development. Oh, I wonder if that Henderson Land Development, I almost want to look. Henderson Land Development, is that the old, what's his, golly, the guy that owned TWA, Howard Hughes, is that his company in Nevada? 2 of Hong Kong's largest property developers. He used to own damn near 3/4 of Vegas. But nonetheless, another history story. Media and entertainment. Is this a shocker? Because right now, you know, social media is on fire. You know that's how this is. Everything's on fire this way. There's no way around it. No way around it. All right. Let me know what you guys are thinking about this list right here. Does this giving you ideas? You can be in any one of these top 10. The media, entertainment, you're on YouTube, that's media. But unfortunately, you don't own Google. You didn't own YouTube that got bought out and they got billions, right? You're not Mark Cuban, where you had your Broadcom with the other 3 guys and you got bought out with billions. Right? You're not Facebook. You're not Snapchats. You're not even Twitter. But this is where they go, because this gives you the momentum with the number of people that do or use your product and service for media or entertainment. There's a value to it. Simply put. So you can start a media empire, entertainment empire, several different ways. You have to take a small risk nowadays. It doesn't cost that much, but notice it's number 9 out of the 10 list. And the last 10, energy. Of course it's energy. What else did we ever talk about? Harold Hamm & Family, founder and chairman of Continental Resources, one of the biggest independent oil companies in the U.S. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Like I always said, if you can get an energy company, that would be like one of the easiest ways to make billions, if you can get in that game, because it cost of entry is so high. You either needed land where you actually were able to make a deal with some of these energy companies, or you need to come up with some new technology that can help either enhance more output of energy or something that's going to revolutionize energy. That's about the only way. But notice the energy is the oil companies, 98 billionaires. So anyhow, that's the top 10 on the list. I wanted you to know this because a lot of people don't understand the hard work and effort that it takes to actually make a lot of money. It's not like you get to rest on your laurels, which is the key phrase I keep saying. You don't get to rest no matter how much you make. So, for instance, there's certain things that you can do. You can make investments. You can get return on your investments. But just because your return on investment is good in 2024, it may not be good in 2030 or 2027. So therefore, you have to be on top of it and you have to make changes based on what your criteria is. You may even have to sell off something. There's always different things that are going to come up because the world changes. the way that the flow of cash flow goes out and into millionaires, billionaires' hands, it changes. All right. So just keep all of that in mind. So once again, welcome everybody to the Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. If you're trying to get in the chat room, there's a reason you can't. On Wednesday night, only members with the icon can be in the chat room. That's one of the perks that they have as a member of the channel. On Monday and Friday, and any other live stream, everybody can be in the chat room. So either become a member of the channel, subscribe to the channel would be very nice also, and hit that like button so the YouTube gods know that we have a few people in the house tonight. So I'd be greatly appreciated. Now, let's get into some more of this billionaire and millionaire. Set new goals. Feel the financial pain. If you don't, that's all I can tell you. You got 3 years. It's like Mission Impossible. You know, the clock started. They lit the fuse. You got a 3-year fuse. In 3 years, you have to be over 6 figures. It's that simple. You're going to have to be over 6 figures. You're going to have to be in that 150 to 200,000 range minimum if you plan on surviving past that. Because after the 3 years, if you're only doing 60, 70, 80 grand, 100, you're going to find yourself in a world of hurt. Because again, I started this off, Federal Reserve is going to reduce the interest rate. They're going to have to start. If it's not going to be this month, then it's going to be July. It has to be in the next 2 to 3 months because they have to wind it down over a year, year and a half time. So they're not going to reduce interest rates every month. All right, let's just call it what it is. So it's probably going to take them a year and a half to get back down to where it's 3.5, 4%, somewhere in that ballpark. And that means that triggers a whole bunch of things. And just so you understand, all these billionaires that you just saw on that list, if they're in that sector and they're not even a billionaire, you could be a millionaire in that sector. When they reduce interest rates, that means a couple of trigger points happen. Once they get low enough, they start borrowing against their assets. And you would say no big deal, but it is a big deal because they get interest-only loans for 10 or 15 years. You don't. So when they can borrow at interest-only loans for 10 to 15 years, and they can then go buy up more shares of their company, so that triggers the stock market to go up, and they can go out here and buy up businesses, they can go buy up real estate, and that triggers real estate prices to go up. So again, you may not survive after this next little 3-year cycle goes because it's going to be the roaring 20s. It's going to be roaring and you're not going to be able to keep up. If we have F-150s costing damn near $100,000 right now, imagine what's going to happen in about a year or 2 years when all of a sudden the interest, instead of paying whatever it is now, 4 or 5%, maybe it's only 1 or, well, not 1, but 2% or 2.5, they're going to sell you a car for $150,000. And it's not going to be a supercar. That's incredible that you can get to these numbers and they're regular trucks or cars. Who would have thought? But that's where we're going because they're not selling enough of them. So either they have to reduce the price, which I don't know why they would, they get subsidies, or they don't, but people will still be buying. They don't care. You guys are out here don't care. There's a 78% of our population is living paycheck to paycheck and they don't care. They keep buying. Clearly, with record profits, people are still buying. They're still using their credit cards. They're still doing whatever they can do. It's outrageous. So I don't want you guys to do that because you're going to need your bullets. You're going to need assets. You got to get more assets. Don't fall in love with what you have achieved so far. This also goes for people who are about to retire. Our friend Victor Marrero here, he's about to retire. He's going to be seemingly comfortably retired. But the thing is, 10 to 15 years ago, when people retired from whatever company and they moved to Florida and Georgia and Texas, they thought they were good because they had a certain number, right? the number was 60,000, 50,000, 70,000. The pension's nice, 8,000, 6,000, 5,000 a month. They said, I bought these cheap homes. They never envisioned that their property taxes were potentially going to go from a couple thousand a year to 7, 8, 9, 10,000 a year. They never envisioned that their insurance for that same house could potentially be non-existent, or again, potentially $5 grand, $6 grand, $8 grand, 10 grand a year or more. They didn't envision none of that. That was simple. My house note is only $1,050 a month. I get 6,000 with a 3% increase or a 2% increase every year. We're good. My health care is covered or partially covered. I'm good. Yeah, well, now you're going to be paying, instead of a 12 or 13, 15, 18, 1900, it could very well be $4 grand or $5 grand a month. This is where this is heading. It's not getting any better for you. Healthcare is going to cost more. Insurance and upkeep for cars, homes, anything you're going to insure is going to cost more. Everything's going to cost more. That's vital. Food is vital. It's going to cost more. So, I have a little something going on here. I didn't plug up my battery. Uh-oh, we got problems. So that means I got to play a video here. Give me let's see. Let's do this one. All right.
People call me the champ. That's not true. I'm a champ a long time ago. This is the champion, David Chu. Say hello.
David Chu. Hello, everyone.
Tell us what's the tournament that you just won a ridiculous amount of money in?
Well, what's the WPT?
Yeah, WPT where? How much did you win? 3.4. 3.4 million dollars. David Chu just came home with. You're amazing. Amazing. Yes, let's give a hand for David Chu. We have David Chu here. Just won $3.4 million.
Can you break it 24 minutes?
How we doing? How's the table? Oh my God, Brett Butler's here. Brett Butler and I have a lot of history. He's the man who got absolutely no cards in the final table when we were together. It was unbelievable. I got so unbelievably lucky, and he got nothing out of sick. It was really sick. This man should have won a hell of a lot more money. But how much did you win at the World Series, David?
3.2.
For real? He won $3.2 million, and he got absolutely no cards, got completely screwed, and I felt really bad, but it's not that bad. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. You're playing against Glenn Turman, who's one of my old clients. Glenn is one of the great actors of our time. Glenn's been nominated for an Emmy this year for his HBO movie. You gotta come and talk to Glenn. You didn't recognize Glenn Turman as your next up? Crazy. I'm so sorry.
Oh, hiding out on me, man. Oh, my goodness.
Of course. Glenn, I miss you so much. We have Glenn Turman in the house, everybody. Tell us about the movie that you're doing. You just did great feel. You're nominated for an Emmy this year.
Well, HBO put me up for the nomination.
Right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Always good to see SSN lifestyle. We live it. We were there. Yeah, that was at the Playboy Mansion. Yes, I do have stories. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Have you ever heard anybody really talk about anything at the Playboy Mansion? Hell no. They're not going to tell you what goes down. You have to be there. This was what part of the mystique, right? Now, I had when I went there, and I went there more than once, more than twice. When I went there, I just like I carry you guys along for the ride, I called up my friends and I would say, hey man, I'm going to the Playboy Mansion. You guys want to come? My friends wouldn't believe me, because I'm just an ordinary citizen. They'd be like, what do you, which Playboy, where are you talking about? A party here in Sac? I'm in the DR now, but all I'm saying is when I'm in Sac, party in Sac is a Playboy party? No, the mansion in LA. And they're like, get out of here. Come on, man. Stop playing. I'm like, you need to get on a plane. And like, I'm telling you now, so you can get on the plane. It's 7-8 days from now. Meet me in LA and then be like, here's the first question. Okay, how are you going to get there? How are you going to get in? I said, what do you mean? We can't just roll up to the front door. They're like, yeah, but okay, so where do I meet you? I said, see, I can't tell you right now. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's you have to be picked up, and they don't give the location until, like a few days before. And that's so then they think I'm playing with them, and I'm like, nah, man, I don't know. It's always going to be at either some garage or some location, but they don't tell you. It could be in Central City. It could be anywhere, because they have a shuttle that brings people up, because you can't park really, in there. So they would never believe me until they actually come. So then when they came, they're just like, I'll be damned. They're here. I don't have pictures. But I understand, I told you guys before, I might have some new pictures. I got to get in touch with my man, T. Jones, my friend Tony Jones, a shout out to him. I brought him the first year I went. I told him to come. He didn't believe me. And then he saw some, I can't remember what he saw. He heard me from a friend of a mutual friend that he says, hey, man, I heard you went down there. I didn't believe you. I said, no worries, man. I'll be going back again. He's like, really? I said, yeah, this time I'm going to call you, and this will be the last time I'm going to call you. I gave you the one. Now I'm going to give you the second one. So the second time he came, and he actually has pictures, because I never really took too many pictures at the Playboy Mansion, because you never know who's there. I mean, there's all kind of activity going down. So he actually ran around with the camera, and he says he has pictures. I just found out like 6 months ago, maybe not even 6, but in the last 6 months, I found out, because I ran into him when I went back to SAC, and he says, I got pictures, man. I was like, what? I need some of these. I need to see what they are. But first, I can't, I got to add it to the SSN lifestyle, but I got to see what they are first. I can't just show any pictures. But anyhow, he has some pictures. So that'll be interesting. Victor Marrero, what made you retire from the table? Too much travel? Poker, you mean? Yeah. Well, there's several reasons, and I'll tell you what those reasons are. Just like I tell you about business, poker is business in reality. You are your own company. You have to worry about money management, just like you should be worrying about money management in your personal life as well. It's the same thing. So here's how it goes. This was, when you play poker in amongst other people live, here's what the numbers are. You roughly play only about 20 hands on average per hour. All right. You don't even play all 20 hands. So you're going to fold out of 20 hands. You're probably going to fold like 8 times, 8 to 12 times you're going to fold. You'll be involved with only a few hands in an hour. So what this means is, even if you're a winning poker player, you're going to have to be there for hours when you play live, right? If you play in a tournament, you're going to be there for hours, and you're going to be there all day, and then come back a second day if you happen to get that far, or a third day if you get that far. But when you play live cash game, it's 20 hands basically per hour. And that's not a lot of hands. And like I said, you'll be lucky to play 5 to 8 hands. All right. Unless you're just one of those players that plays almost every hand or something. So that's one of the reasons why I said I can't do live. So we went online, and I went online, because online I can play as many hands that I can have up on my computer screen. And it's like 50 hands per hour. So now if you're a winning poker player and you have, like, I'd usually have 4 up, as we call it, right? So I'd have just, other people have more than 4 up, but I didn't feel comfortable with more than that. So I wanted to try and understand who I'm playing against. So I do 4 up, but now we have 50 hands per hour. Now you're playing a little bit more hands. And if you're a profitable player, that turns out to be in your favor. So for 3 or 4 years, I'll give you the numbers, because I actually filed taxes as a professional poker player. So I'm making like the win percentage is what I go by. So win percentage for 3 years was like 65, 66, 67% of the time I touch down and play online poker, or even if I play live. But I rarely played live because of the time consumption. So I'd play online, whether it's cash games, tournaments, it doesn't matter. So everything was great. So you can imagine the numbers. If you spend 1,000, you make 670, 650 on average. So money management is easy. 10,000, 6,500, beautiful, right? So you're winning, everything's beautiful. But back in the day, there wasn't that many people that played poker exceptionally well. There's a lot of good poker players, but because of the poker boom, that brought in a whole new group of people, and they started just learning the game, because now you can play online. You didn't have to play in real life to learn the game. So now you can play for hours and see so many different hands. So you get to see how people play. So over 4 or 5 years, then people started getting a lot better. So the level of play moved up, and you can only hit a ceiling. You can only go so far and then once people start moving up, now instead of 60, 67, 65 in the 60 percentile, it drops. Again, remember, I track. So now it drops to, you can still live with 55, 50%, still good, but it just kept dropping. Then it was like the next year, 45%. Then after that, it started getting like, well, why am I going to play? Because now, in order to make the same amount of money I used to make, I got to play longer or more. And the longer you play, the more riskier it is, because I'm playing like most of the time, no limit. So that means at any time you can be at risk for whatever you brought to the table. So that's a different ball game altogether. So then it got down to, I think my final year, I think I was in the 30s. I think it was like 36, 38, something like that. Now, that's a hard situation to maintain, because now you have to play more to make the same amount of money. And so then I used to own well, not own entirely. I was in partnerships with the offline, offshore poker room, which was cool, called Pokerari. And it was over in the EU zone. So I owned a part of that. So then it was easier. I didn't have to do anything, because now every time somebody plays a hand, you get raked for the house. So I would just come play with some other professional poker players. I would make tournaments for them, and then I'd have people with bounties and things like that, and I'd play and they'd play. And it was kind of like, it was cool. Pokerari, I probably still have some gear somewhere. It's in storage. But anyhow, one of these days I'll wear some Pokerari gear. But Pokerari with an Italian father and son, they were my partners in that. And so then I just said, playing myself, I wasn't going to keep learning the game where I was going to be one of the best, because there's a lot of people that are so good. It started getting out of control. And so I felt I got to do something else. And so I always did other stuff anyhow. So that's why I had to stop playing poker. And yes, I can still play poker, but again, there's so many great players now that my odds of winning is greatly reduced. These guys play so different. Got it. The youngsters got up to your play level pretty quickly. Like sports, sometimes you have to turn it over to the new generation. Exactly. Yeah, because you can play online. That's why. And it even got worse. So there's a bunch of things with poker that if anybody wants to play professional poker, you don't understand the landscape. So it gets worse. You have all these kids, they are sick. And I don't mean sick as in a bad way. They're sick. They're like studying. So they live, you would not believe this. I'm just going to tell you like it is. They have kids. And what I mean by kids, guys like 23, 24, 25. They consciously move to Vegas, live in like a 4-bedroom house, They literally have screens in their living room, screens in their bedroom. They're playing online poker, and then they're analyzing each other's hands after they finish playing. They're playing against other people. Then after they play for their 4, 5, 6 hours, you think they're done. No, they actually start replaying how they could get better or what they were thinking. And then the other people chime in what they were thinking and how you could have played it better. So not only were they playing more hands per hour, now they're grouped together and they're getting feedback from other players on how the best play the hands. So with all of that, now they have a house full of people sitting there analyzing their play and getting them better. So that quickly escalated them getting better. So they started doing that. Then, like me, more people started being able to be sponsored. So there's a whole different ball game. If you go play in tournaments, you go to cash games, you go wherever, and you have a sponsor, a company like, for instance, Pokerari, right? Or Ultimate Bet, Absolute Poker, all these guys were around then. If you had these guys sponsoring you, you come to a tournament, your buy-in for $5,000, $1,500, whatever it is paid for. So now you're going to play different than the person who had to put up their own $5,000 or $3,500 or $1,500, whatever the case may be. So that's why there's different advantages for different people, and you don't realize that the people across from you, everybody's not equal. They're not playing with their own payroll. So whenever I play in tournaments, I was sponsored, so I never played with my payroll, but people would not know that. I mean, unless I'm wearing their gear, because sometimes you wear the gear, right? So then they'd be like, oh, okay, you would know that way, but still, it does not mean anything. Maybe I just got it in the hallway. It doesn't. So everybody's different. Some people are borrowing money or are staked. So they have people that said, well, I'm going to play in this $5,000 tournament. I'll take I'll give a piece of the action to somebody else. So I'll just pay I'll take 50% of the action. So I'm going to sell 2,500 out of the $5,000 and then split it. You know, the 50% of it goes to whoever put in. Could be one person or several people. So all of that's going on as well. And so therefore, some people are playing with other people's money. Some people are sponsored. Some people are borrowing money. Some people, I mean, it's all over the map. So everybody's goal at the table could be different based on how they entered the game, whether it's cash games or tournament games. So this is why it made it very interesting, and people were able to catch up very quickly with the skill sets, because then you started having some of these guys, which were almost like, you know, better than me, known players. They started teaching people how to play, having what they call right now, they have masterclass, for instance. Same kind of thing back then. People started teaching people who weren't as good. And like my friend Greg Raymer, he still, to this day, plays in little tournaments. He's a World Series of Poker champion. And this guy will still go to Oklahoma, will still go to Texas, will still go to Timbuktu, and he will still do lessons at the location that he's at. And yeah, he only charges like $75, $50. He's so cool. But the point I'm trying to make is, there's so many different ways that you can get better. And this is what you have to do in business. Because remember, that's a business too. You have to do business. You can't rest on your laurels. You always have to learn. You always have to get better. And if you have somebody that's there with you or multiple people there with you, you're going to get better faster. And so that's the way of life. That's what billionaires do. That's what millionaires do. That's what successful people do. They have other people that help them, that you may not think that it's help. You may think they know it all. Nobody knows it all. There's always somebody else that can give you some help with what you're doing. So just keep that in mind. E. White's in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream with that icon next to his name, which I humbly appreciate. And E. White's another one of those investor extraordinaires in real estate game, ladies and gentlemen. So therefore, let's bring his tagline into play. Good evening, SSN family. Let's collect these dividends and prepare for the NVIDIA split. That's right. We're going to prepare for that split, E. White. Again, some people are going to buy now or some are going to buy later. I'm on the later crowd. After the split, I'm going to wait my 48, 72, 96 hours and then shoot it for it then. And then we'll go from there. Okay, that's how we got to do it. E. White says, just as well learn from the SSN. Exactly, E. White. That's what we do here. We try to help you guys out here. That's why we need to hit those like buttons. And please subscribe to the channel. Why? Because the YouTube gods show us no love out here. Why? Because we're direct. We don't sell courses. This is the no guru zone. All right. You can always hit us up. You can make, well, unless you're a member of the channel, you can be in the chat room. But on Monday and Friday nights, we don't charge to be in the chat room. If you want to ask a question, you can always hit me up at support@stopstrugglingnow.com. Some of my favorite YouTubers, I've been noticing they started adding courses. They said, oh, my God, I got so much time on my hands. And since I don't have so much time on my hands anymore because I'm doing YouTube, I felt it was best that I started charging you guys for some course stuff. Or I'm going to start doing some mentorship. So don't expect me to answer any questions in the chat room. Don't expect me to, I'm like, okay. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm old school, very old school. I still have to ask the major question when somebody starts talking like this. I start going, hey, I thought you said you made money off of whatever you were doing. So if somebody else needs some help and you know how to help them, why are you charging them knowing that they may not have any money? Why can't you just help people since you make money anyhow? That's our philosophy here in the SSN Nation. We're going to help you. We don't need your money. We need you to use your money to go buy MSTY, go buy IEP, go buy some stocks that give dividend returns like NVDY. It was $1 something this month. That's coming. And it's a $30 stock. That's a dividend stock from UMAX ETFs. So again, notice number one was finance and investments. That's why 89% of the stock market is owned by the top 10 of the wealthiest. All right. So that just gives you an idea. And here's Brian P. right now talking about he just picked up 700 shares, Mr. Dividends, ULTY. I suggest you look at some of these stock symbols. Members here are helping you. These are dividend plays. That means no matter what happens, you're going to have a check coming next month. When he says 700 shares and the stock gives off $1 every month, that's $700. All right. I don't know what ULTY. I don't have any ULTY. So therefore, I don't know if it was $1.30 or 68 cents. But all I'm trying to illustrate to you is he knows he's going to have money coming in next month. Now he's going to reinvest it, which I highly advise, because using that money to make more money is beautiful. All right, here we go. Victor Marrero, Brian P. Damn, 700 shares at current price. That's over 10K. That will give you about $8.95 per month. I wasn't too far off. In less than 1 year, you'll get your money back, especially by reinvesting. Exactly. He'll have it back before 1 year by reinvesting. So, I was close. $1.27. ULTY is paying $1.27, $1.28 this Friday. See, this is what I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. That finance and investment game, that's where you want to be. Because even if you're not a billionaire or millionaire, it does not matter. You're going to still live comfortably as long as you keep having revenues coming in. And revenues that are in today's money. So what I always try to say is, so today, let's say, I'll use it this way. $1,000 a month for a car payment, right, is outrageous. But in 4 years, $1,000 per month won't be outrageous because the money's going to be worth less. So right now it's worth more than it will be 3 or 4 years from now. All right, because of inflation. So all I'm saying is Brian P, Mr. Dividend, that's it. Brian P is killing it. That's right. Thank you, E. White. That's why we call him Mr. Dividend in this YouTube street, ladies and gentlemen. You can go to yieldmaxetfs.com. Go take a peruse of what they do. It's high risk, high rewards. But study, understand. You have to study. You have to learn. Make sure it fits your payment plan, but high risk, high rewards is what it is. You want to stay in lower risk territories, then get a JP Morgan fund. JEPI, JEPI, JEPQ. That'll keep you around 9.5 to 10.5% annual return on dividends, unless they increase them. But that's a bank. It's a Fed bank as far as I'm concerned. So there goes another spot for you to get in on that billionaire, millionaire game. Now, businesses that you need to buy or get involved with. We had something here called Instavid AI. I haven't had Oscar on. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, about that. Oscar's been very, very busy with some couple of white label things with Instavid, and he kind of got bogged down. And we still, and I say we still didn't get enough friends and family investors to move to the next level. So that means people still have a chance to get in on the Mr. Wonderful SSN Nation deal. In case you don't know what that means, I'm trying to get Oscar on to talk about Instavid again. You have a chance to put your money into something first in, first out, friends and family. And Mr. Wonderful is this. It's like Shark Tank. When the deal that he always does, Kevin O'Leary loves these deals, and I can't blame him, where he says, I will give you the $200,000. But every sale you have where there's profit, which is every sale, I want $1 back, or you pay me back off of that. So they figure out what it is, right? Let's just say it's $1. So then when I get my $200,000 back, then I have like a little percentage of equity of the company. If you can get those deals, that's the deal you want. Well, Instavid AI, that's the deal you get, something similar. So it's the SSN Nation deal. So if you want that deal, you can hit up Oscar at info@instavidai.com and let him know you want part of that SSN Nation. He'll even do a one-on-one with you to show you what the software does. Now, I love what they've done with the software. I'm not going to show it tonight because there has been some updates, made it easier for people to do it because they made it single. I'll just give you a few things. It's for AI. It's for social media marketing. It's for you to get videos out much faster than what you are accustomed to, because you can do a Q&A. You can do a sale video that's however long you want. It could be up to 3 to 5 to 10 minutes, but you can do your sale video and then have customers say, I love this product. I'm actually going to start doing it, using it for some of the SSN Nation, SSN Lifestyle Music Festival feedback. So I might do it that way too, but that goes out to your social media. And your social media, like if I'm making it, I only have certain social media for, let's call it Stop Struggling Now. But if other people share the video, that goes to reach other people that you otherwise wouldn't have been introduced to. So that actually exponentially moves your products or services or your business a lot faster. So it's AI generated. So you'll have it all set up in less than 5 minutes because you'll have an intro and an outro and a Q&A or question and answers, however you want to do it, two-way video. It's pretty sweet. So again, there's still room for investors, for people that want to get in on ground floor, family and friends. So that's a good thing. I'm shocked, quite frankly, but it is what it is. Now, let's get into Brian P. is trying to get back. He has his Mr. Dividend status here in the YouTube street, our channel, And once again, everybody, please share the videos, because a lot of people don't realize what fields they should be thinking about being in if they want to get into that 152, 53, 50, 400,000 $1 million status where you have money coming in. So you need to buy businesses that hopefully is established by the list. You need to think about finance, investment, real estate, starting your own businesses that go out to the masses instead of trying to find these niches like you would online. Think about trying to solve a mass problem or something along those lines. If you can come up with something, that's golden. But even then, you're still going to be pressed on getting it out to market. Luckily, we have social media these days that can be a massive boost for a lot of people if you can't get it out traditionally. So once again, think about our top 10 list. In case you just arrived and you're not familiar with the top 10 list, let's go look and let's go over it real quickly. Here's the billionaires list, the top 10 businesses. Here it is. Here are the top 10 biggest industries for billionaires in 2024. I want to point out once again, this very important. Notice these are businesses, multiple businesses. It's not just one. So notice finance and investments. Warren Buffett doesn't just invest in one company. Under his umbrella from Berkshire Hathaway, they have bought into hundreds of businesses. So it's not just one thing. Technology, another opportunity. Manufacturing, another opportunity. Fashion and retail, another SSN Nation gear. Check. All right. It'll be up for sale again probably next week. All right. New website coming. I haven't had the website. It got hacked, so I just left it down all these months, but we're about to break out a new one. Food and beverage. Again, this is mass production. All over the world, you can serve up food and beverage, but it's more importantly, some food that can be consumed readily and easily, along with the beverage. Right? Those are the areas you want to be in. Diversified. Like I said, IEP, which is the Icon Group, check out their dividends. It's going to be double digits. That has petrochemicals, oil and gas, retail and communications. That's what Carl Icahn does. I like his IEP, so check the dividend rate for that. You might like it. Healthcare. Notice it's a pharmaceutical industries again. Be in the pharmaceutical, be in the drug business. Even if it's natural drugs, I don't care. Be in the drug business, the legitimate drug business, not illegal. All right. Real estate's number 8. Nothing wrong with number 8, but real estate is here. Media and entertainment. Well, that's pretty self-explanatory because of social media and technology hand in hand. They get the best of both worlds, media and entertainment. Energy. If you can get into the oil industry, the gas industry, the Comcast, or I'm sorry, the PG&E industry. I mean, SMUD, what is SMUD? Well, Sacramento Municipal, I don't know. SMUD, or what's the name of these other energy companies? I can't even remember. In Florida, Georgia, they're all over. But all I'm trying to say is those are the top 10 list for billionaires. Notice they're all businesses. Notice it's not just one little niche thing. It's several things that they are controlling, and that gives them their billionaire status. So keep that in mind. That would make you do, if you start multiple businesses and 2 or 3 are successful, then you'll get to your millionaire status. So that's what we're looking for you, because in the next 3 years, it's going to be a wrap. Those of you who have sat on the sidelines and have done nothing, you're just going to find out that it's going to be a lot harder to reach your goals later on, because the cost of living is going to rise. There's nothing you can do about it unless you're going to move to a lower cost of living location or reduce your expenses. There's just no way around it, ladies and gentlemen. That's how it's going to have to roll. So hopefully you heed my warnings, because all those who did not heed my warnings 5 years ago, what can I say? What does it look like now? It looks like I was about right. Because I did say in 5 years, it was a wrap for middle class. It's a wrap. There's no one person been able to just say, well, 75, 90 G's, I'm good. That's going to be harder and harder going forward. All right. So 90 G's, 100 G's, good. Going to be harder and harder. So your goal is going to have to be 150 or more. That's it. Upper middle class wipeout is coming. So now you're going to have to, over in 3 years, you're going to have to move from 150 to 200 and up just to be on the safe side. That's just safe for 2027. Never mind when 2030 comes around, because the thing is, all of you who got to the 200 number, you're going to have the assets. So you'll be able to protect yourself. All those people in the next 3 years who do not get to 150, you want to be at 200. But if you can't get to the 150 number, then you're going to be in a world of hurt for the rest of your life. That's all I'm going to tell you right now. All right. So what do I know? I'm just a YouTuber on internet. All right. But hey, I haven't had to work for somebody for about 30 years now. So it's been pretty cool. Just been doing whatever I wanted to do. Now, I've come over here to the SSN Nation takeover, and I'm telling you, it's been very hard for the takeover because a lot of people are against me taking over. Or I shouldn't say it's like against, but that's what it feels like. It feels like that because there's some people, I'm up to three people, 3 entities owe me money over here and it's not giving me, and they're not just for $500 either. All right, we're talking about thousands. So they're withholding funds. So we're going to find out how this is all going to play, because I feel a little problem is brewing here, like I've been discussing, and I'm not liking it. Then I even have problems in the USA too, with held accounts doing all kind of crazy. So now I'm sitting here in no man's land thinking, okay, now I see I'm going to have to change up how I'm going to have to deal with quite a few people and corporations and companies all over the world now, because I see that this is playing out according to plan. They're going to start doing these money games. Even the banks are doing it. Everybody's doing these little money games. They owe you. It ain't coming. It may come. It's like third world stuff. So I'm like, okay, I see what I'm going to do right now. We're going to have to change up a little bit. But that little change up means you guys are just going to be able to reach me a little bit easier, because I'm actually going to start answering phone calls and doing some things. If you haven't joined our WhatsApp group and you want to find out about some of these pre-construction real estate deals, then please join our SSN Nation and Lifestyle group. Also, December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, we have our SSN Lifestyle Punta Cana Investors Forum once again, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And this one's going to be a little bit different than the others. We're still going to go see the people we need to see, but we're going to be focusing on our banking and lending, because we're going to have a lot of people having delivery of their projects. So we're going to have to focus on where we're going to be able to get the best deals over the next, after December, in the next 12 months. So we got to get your banking relationships right. So that's going to be of utmost importance. The lawyers, we're going to go to the lawyer's office like we always do, because you never know what questions are going to be popped up. Like our last month when we had it, there was some different questions that was asked from our previous lawyer meetings whenever we've had our investors forum. So that was very interesting. You just never know where it's going to go, because different people have different questions. This one went more to the business aspect of SRL, LLC's got a full explanation from Gennaro and his wife, who's the attorney, and masterclass in holding companies for the DR, offshore holding companies. If you missed this one, we haven't recorded. I haven't released it yet, because I was like, you know what? The people that were in the investors forum, this is why they came. They got it. I've been sitting on it for all this time, because he goes over holding companies like what we have discussed in the past, and the reasons why you're doing the holding company structure. And Gennaro went off for about 10 to 15 minutes and was like, it was perfect. I was just like, okay, I have it, but I'm not releasing it. So unfortunately, I may release it sometime this year, but this is the type of stuff that you're actually missing when you don't come to our investors forum. You just never know what's going to come up or come out of the meetings for the day. So just like some people After we went there, we went to check out some pre-construction real estate project. And we found the Oasis Lake, which is the Caribbean, which is at Caribbean Lake Park. They have their Caribbean Lake Park built already, so already in place. All they have to do is build the structure. Now, we learn that 20-40-40 structure is a normal payment structure now. 20% down, 40% during construction, 40% on delivery. That shaves off a lot of people that can invest. Why? Because prices are starting to escalate, as they should after 4 years. There's only like 3 or 4 projects still left that have 20/20 pricing. But what they're doing is they started this new, instead of a 2-bedroom, they're calling it a 1-bedroom plus 1. They're a little smaller, but they want more money, which is very interesting. But we're talking about 2 bedrooms that are going to be almost like $200,000 now to $250,000 for a condo. Not a villa, a condo. You can buy villas for $250,000. This is where this is going. This is extraordinarily concerning for me, because I work for ordinary citizens. Now I'm going to be doing something with SSN Lifestyle that'll do a higher end brand, but SSN Nation itself, we try to cater to where ordinary citizens can get in. A 20-40-40 structure is going to be very hard. And the reason I say that is because you're going to need $2,500 to $3,000 a month disposable income if you want to be in a great project. Atlanta, a 2-bedroom is now $322,000, $315,000. So when you start doing 40% of 300,000, that's 120,000 that you're going to have to pay. And even if you had 30 months to pay, that's 4 G's a month. You're not, I mean, not everybody can afford 4 G's a month for one project, when back in the day you could have gotten 3 projects and spent 4 G, less than 4 G's. You could have gotten a studio, a 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, and only paid like 2 G's a month, $2,300 a month for 3 properties. Now you're going to have to spend that for 1 with the new payment plan structures. And sure, we had our own 10, 25, 65 deal. That's expired. So you're not going to get a 10% down deal anymore. You're not going to get a 25% during construction deal anymore. And a 10-30-70 or 10-30-60 deal, those are non-existent. The best thing you can hope for is maybe a 15, 20, 15, 30, something along that line. 15% down, 30% during construction, 60 or 55% on delivery. That's where this is heading. And I got my Salia Beach Club numbers, and it's actually correct. I showed everybody on Monday. The prices have already escalated. We're talking about $200,000-$300,000 already for 1-bedrooms. I mean, this is getting disgusting right now. So this is the type of thing that's worrisome and bothersome to me, but not really. Let's see what I got. Let me see if I can do something here. I was going to show, so I got some new numbers too that just came out. Let me see if I'm correct that these numbers, they're scary. I thought the Salia was, yeah, they're selling like hotcakes because they sell to the Moon Palace, upper tier crowd. Look at all the yellow. That's all this stuff is sold. It's one of the better projects, but we're looking at Ocean View, 128 square meters, 479,000. 75 square meters, 282. 253, 61 square meter, 1-bedroom, 253. So when people start thinking 200,000 is not a thing, it's a thing for 1-bedrooms now. Studio units in 1-bedrooms are costing damn near 170 to 200,000. So it's over. If you think you're going to keep sitting on the sidelines, you might as well call that a wrap. If you think you're going to be buying something under 200,000, it's going to be significant size. Those days are almost over. There's hardly any projects other than I'm getting, because I'm in other groups now, I'm getting other things where people are saying, well, we have I'm trying to think of the villa. The villa is like 1,400, 1,500 square feet, and they're saying it's 229,000, maybe even 189 for another one. But you know what? They have nothing. They literally have a security gate, and you bought a townhouse, and there's not even your townhouse has a pool, and there's no other amenities. I mean, this is where we're going, and we're talking like in White Sands, which there's nothing wrong with White Sands. It's just that that's where it is. It's not like it's a super project where you have all these amenities there. You're basically doing a lot of things where you're just building the condo, building the townhouse, building the villa, and then there's hardly anything else but a pool and maybe a fitness, or a pool only. Like I'm staying in the new condo, it's a pool only, right? So, I mean, that's what we're talking about here. That's what we're talking about. It's crazy. So that's where the problem comes in for you. If you, because now you're going to have to invest for real. What I mean for real is you're going to have to figure out, are you going to take a condo downtown? You're going to take a condo or villa in a different location just because of the location? Or are you going to take a condo and villa because of the amenities? Well, if you're going to take it for the amenities and location, you're going to be paying premium dollars now. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. You've been spoiled these 3 years, 4 years. And the last spoil just came this last month. Across the street from the man-made beach is Seven Palms. You just missed the deal of a century where they were doing 10% down, 25% during construction. That made your payments like you could have gotten a 1-bedroom beach view for $145,000. Now that's off the table. That was a special SSN Nation deal. Now you got to do a 20, 30, 50. So now that 146 unit beach view still available. But now you have to put down 20%, maybe 15 you can get away with, but that gives you a 35% on the other side. So now you're either going to have to put down whatever 20 times 150, that's 30. So now you're going to have to put down like 30,000, or you're going to have to put down like 17,000. Then you're going to have to do 30% of 146. So, or I'll round up to 150, but that's 45,000. And now you got 24 payments left, 24, 25 payments. So that's almost 2 G's a month. 1,900, 1,800 per month, which is still in the ballpark, but now you had to put down extra money and you had to pay an extra $500, $600 per month unnecessary. And if you go 40, I mean, what can I say? 40 on 140, 56,000 divided by 24. That's about $2,500 per month. So, and that's on that 1 bedroom, but the 1 bedroom at Oasis Bay is 170,000. So now your payment's definitely in the 2,500 zone. To 27, 25, 2,700 zone. So this is where it's going. So again, if you think that things are going to stay the same, when they reduce the interest rates, real estate goes up worldwide. All right. And I'm learning something new. I have to give everybody this report too. I've been over here in May, June now, and it's definitely a lot slower. There's hardly anybody in these condos. That it's definitely low season. So I'm trying to figure out when they say they're breaking the records for the travel, because last year they had, in the month of June, they had 600,000, I believe it was 681,000. They broke a record of visitors by air to the Dominican Republic. That would have meant 360,000 landed at the Punta Cana airport. If those same numbers, if they break the record this year, that means they would have to do over 680 or 661,000. It was one of those numbers. That would mean that almost 400,000 people, 100,000 people per week would be landing at the airport. I should be seeing a lot of people walking around. So where are these people going? I don't know. Maybe to the all-inclusive spots. But all I do know is there is definitely a low season happening right now. You are not going to be doing 60, 70, 80% rental rate right now. I can tell you that for sure. It's easily apparent. So I just want to let everybody know it may be over the course of a year, you'll be able to do 50% like we were saying, but definitely I'd be shocked if somebody was doing 50% rentals right now in May and June. I'd be really shocked to find that out, or 60. So this is why I reduced my number to 50%, because that's going to be much more realistic over the course of the year. So we get 180 rental nights versus almost 200 plus. All right. That would be much more realistic. So therefore, your cost of buying, no matter if it's a business, no matter if it's real estate, the cost to buy matters. The lower you buy, the greater your return on investment. And it shields you from any downturns or down cycles, because your return on investment will still come in, and you're not going to mind if it drops from 20 to 15. You're going to mind if it was only 10 to begin with and it drops to 5. You're going to start sweating. So those are the type of things that we're talking about. All right, George's Charles, welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And he has that icon next to his name, and he has several investment properties here in the DR. He says 50%. I love it at 400 a night. Yeah, he's going to love it. Let me do his numbers. 400 times 180. Let's go look at the numbers. He's talking about 400 times 180. That gives him 72,000 per year. I don't know what he's going to do with that, but we're going to take off 18. We're going to say 25%. I don't know what he's going to do, but we'll just do 72,000. Oops, sorry. Minus 18,000 for the 25% management fee. HOAs, 500 per month. I don't know what that's what it's going to be, but I'm assuming I'm just going off of $2 per square meter. So it's going to be 500 per month, right? So 6,000. Okay. And that's all I can see right now. So that leaves $48,000 and price point. That's 48,000. Well, I think okay. I'm missing. I know what I'm missing, but that's if it was free and clear. So now if there was some financing involved, I don't know what that could be because I don't remember the payment plan, but let's just say maybe it was 1030. Might have been 1030-60. So we'll just say it's 60. So if he has to finance it, he's going to owe 60% of, let's call it, I'm going to round up because it's more than that, less than this, but I'll round up to 300. So if it's 60, then is that 180? So if we have to get funding or financing, that's where things come into play. It's going to be very interesting. So if we say we have 180 to finance, then that means right now they're talking crazy, damn near 10% if you have to deal with one of these banks out here. So that would be 1,800 times 12. Actually, that would be interest only, but let's just keep it at 1,800 times 12. So that's 18,000, 20, let's call it 21,000. So if this is the numbers, I don't know, but if that was the numbers, that'd leave 27. So we'd be at 10%, roughly 10, 11, 12%, if those were the numbers. So the question, though, is even during summertime, can we do $400 per night? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. George's Charles, he says, I smell money here. He brings his tagline, my P4, LOL. Here we go. Not having a mortgage is the key. Also include HOA and management fee. Exactly. It's the mortgage part. Most people are going to have mortgages. And if you have to do something here, it's like 10%. Best case scenario. Best case scenario is 10%. And worst case, because it's adjustable after a year, even if you have a fixed rate for 2 or 3 years, then it goes adjustable. So, and when we do this, we have to be a 4-bed beach can do. I don't know, man. Here's what I'm getting at. So I'm going to do something because we haven't went over there since George's Charles is here. And we have other people who owns at Las Brisas that has like a, if I remember right, it's a 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath, or is it 4 bedroom? Because added 4.5 bath at Las Brisas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do here. I'm going to go to Punta Cana. So we're going to actually go look up some of these. See, I'm going to look in this month. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the 7th. Yeah, it's on average. I'll do it right now. Well, actually, that's not fair. Some people do dollar cost average down. I'm going to do 10 people, which is George's Charles's place. And I'm not going to use June 7th because some people reduced their prices. So I'm going to go, well, it's not a holiday here, but I'm going to go July 5th through the 12th. And we'll go 10 people. So now we're going to find out what prices are a little more now since we're here and it's low season seemingly, but this is good sign. This is good signs. Here we go. Let's go. Here we go for 10. So it's in the ballpark. It's in a ballpark. So you can see the ballpark of 10. Here's 259. That's residential Bavaro. Okay. 6 bedrooms, 6 beds, 6 bedrooms. Interesting. All right. Residential Bavaro. I'm familiar with that. I didn't see any amenities over there. Villa Tropical. Don't know where. Oh, this is Primavera. Yep, that's their pool. This is Primavera 2. Because they just showed their pool. Diller in the Sky. Yeah, that's Primavera 2. Yeah, this is their pool. So I know this project. All right. So was that 259? Nope. 172. Okay. Don't know what this is. 4-bedroom. Oh, interesting. Where's this at? No idea. All right. Oh, 203. That's what this was. Now you say, well, why these guys at Primavera 2 have an advantage? This is what I talked about for the last 3 years, buying at a lower price. They bought their 1,500 square foot place either at 90-some thousand, 103,000, or 110,000. Now the pool wasn't at the time was additional 15K. So anyhow, he spent less than 200,000. He spent like maybe 130. All right. Depending on which phase or when he bought it. But he's able to rent it. If he can rent it 203, that's a win. Here goes another person. There it is again. They bought these for like 100 and some thousand, 103, 110. Now these are selling for 170 at Primavera 4. All right. Or I'm sorry, in Primavera 3. And I don't know if they do these in Primavera 4, but they're 170 now, maybe even more. I don't know. But these prices, they're going to hold up good. If you had to buy these now, if they are 170 or 180, and you would have still had to spend now 15 to 20,000 for the pool. They charge an extra 5,000 now. So you would already be at 200,000. Your rate of return is going to be much different than if you bought this for 120, right? But your price point would be here, 396. I don't know what this one is here. This is huge. 3 bedrooms, 6 baths, villa at Punta Cana. I don't know where this is. Hard to say. They're not showing outside, so that's not bad. This is a good sign for George's Charles and everybody who has a villa of any substantial size. That's a good sign. There's nothing over here yet, which is interesting. So 241, all right, through 435. This looks like inside Vista Cana. I'm pretty sure that is, because that looked like Oasis del Lago. 346. I don't know where this one is either. But nonetheless, there's not that many units that can sleep 10. Downtown Punta Cana. Okay. Nice. That is downtown. Somebody has a downtown spot. Let's see what else we have up here. Just to give everybody an idea, when you buy 4 bedrooms, 5.5 bathrooms. Yeah, look, this is Cocotel, which is okay, nicer. Yes, that's going to be cool. But here we are, 466, 1141. Yeah, see, these are good rates. George's Charles, we don't have any rates obviously at your spot yet, but that's a good sign. Even, well, they're available, which I don't know if it's a good sign, but nonetheless, possibilities are endless. Endless. A 4-bed with beach, I can do 400 per night. We will see. I hope so. Agree with George. The more bedrooms, the better the rate you can charge per night. It's like Orlando. Exactly. He's got the biggest unit. It sleeps 10. So that's the key right there. We talked about this a year ago, 2 years ago, when I said 10 is the number. If you're going to get a place, a villa, and you want to rent it out, then 10 is the number because you have limited competition. And he has a bathroom in every one of his bedrooms. So if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it's 4 bedrooms, 5.5 baths, if I'm not mistaken, because there's a half bath in the living room area, and he added a built-in bath in the back by the pool. Very smart arrangement. So his property should do very well. We're anticipating that 395-ish number, and hopefully it'll be ready sometime in the next 12 months. He'll be making money. Actually, it would be better if it came January, February, or March in prime time. So then he would be making a lot of money during prime time versus, again, I consider this low season. I don't know how that's faring, but again, as soon as you put in 10, there doesn't seem to be that many units available. I'm going to drop this to 4, and we will see what they say with 4. See, 4 is going to change the game. This is why the bigger the unit you have, the more people it sleeps, the more you can charge. Because now you can see 53, 131, 90, 56, 69, 43, 68, 80, even in Cocotel, 94. I mean, in Bavaro, we're getting down to 70s and all kind of different numbers. 63. We go out here, which I don't know where this is. Go out here. Yep, we're at Connor Rocks. They're in the 80s, 101s, 168. Don't know where that is. But nonetheless, big difference when there's 4 guests and when there's 10. So it's worth it if you could have gotten a villa that had 4 bedrooms and could sleep 10 for under 300,000, which now that's hard to do. You're going to win all day, every day. And next year, it's going to cost more for rentals, whether it's short term or long term. So we'll see what happens. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully this was enough for you tonight. I'm not going to be here much longer. I have a lot of things to do. So if you have any questions or want to talk about anything, put it down here in the chat room and let me know. Just let dynamic pricing do the rate. Low season, your rate is much lower, but you'll make it up. High season, including summer, Christmas, and spring break. Victor Marrero, yeah, but you know, Orlando's a different animal. That's the thing that I'm getting a little worried about, because after seeing the significant drop off just between April and June, it's significant. The amount of people that's around here. The thing is, Orlando has, you know, Disney and Universal and SeaWorld and all that during the summer. So there's going to be a high rate, just like Myrtle Beach, high rate of people that's going to be there. Hilton Head, high rate of people that's going to be there. Anywhere, you know, in the summertime in the United States, people are going to be there, especially if it's a tourist area. Here, DR doesn't actually have a tourist area. So in other words, what I mean is there aren't any extracurricular. You're not flying here because of Mickey. You're not flying here because of SeaWorld. You're not flying here because of Universal or amusement parks. That's not a thing. You don't have that luxury. So here, what is it really based on other than the tourism industry itself? That's what people are coming for, whether it's for medical, whether it's for just regular vacation or tourists. There's different reasons, but it's not because of there's Disney, amusement parks, theme parks. None of that's here. So you don't get to win on that. What you get to win on is the weather, and the weather during right now, I'm miserable. This is crazy. I mean, it's like the oven is on all inside, outside. It doesn't matter. Even right now, the oven's on outside. I mean, it's literally probably like 85 degrees and 80% humidity, or it's probably not that high, but the computer says 96 degrees right now. That's what it feels like outside right now. It's 11 at night. It's pretty serious. All right. That's pretty serious. That's not comfortable. And I have no motorcycle to ride on open roads either. So it's not comfortable. So we'll see what happens. But that's just it. January, February, March, and April, just like in Florida, is the thing. You take away Disney, which is what happens in the areas that doesn't include Disney. You go to Southwest Florida, you go to any other parts of Florida, and the tourist numbers are way down compared to Orlando. So there's a huge difference. Jacksonville, forget about it, right? Any other Cape Canaveral, any other region, you forget about it. But everybody's still coming to Orlando because of what their infrastructure is. So just keep that in mind. So and that's what it seems like here for me, which is quite disturbing, but not really. But it still is, because we're having all-time record highs with visitors, but it doesn't reflect it on the street right now. I don't see it. So we will see. Is the water temperature right? Have you had the chance to get in the water, pool or beach? Pool, warm. Pool water is, I don't even know what the temperature, what I could call it, but I'd call it like 75 probably, somewhere like that. I haven't even been to the beach, because walking to the beach, I'm going to be sweating like a dog. That's how crazy it is. But I'm pretty sure. In fact, I'm going to go out there tomorrow to go check it out because there's really nothing else for me to do waiting on checks that people aren't going to pay. It's crazy. So we'll see what happens. I'll go out there, but I haven't been out there this whole time. Last 2 months, never been out to the water. This is what happens when I'm on an island because it's so warm. It's ridiculous. Just going down there, and there's hardly anybody at the beach. Did you guys see my video? Go check out the videos on the shorts where I'm at the Noval Beach Club that's by Jellyfish. See how many people's there out on the beach? Hardly anybody. You won't see hardly anybody. I scanned the beach. You can see for yourself. You see a lot of boats docked. So we'll see. Victor Marrero, hopefully only another 2 to 4 days. Or 5 days. That's about it. I'm not going to be here any longer. There's nothing else to talk about. I'm finding out who the enemies are, who the teams are, what's happening, all my research I've been doing. I'm studying, seeing how they do business around here on the ground, because once you're gone, now you're not here, you're not going to be able to find out. Everything sounds hunky-dory. But when I'm actually here, I'm finding out all their little dirty secrets and the way they're doing people around here. And then I'm finding out other things too, like people. So I'm finding out that this is a thing. I mentioned it before. So somebody says, hey, I know where you can have something made. I'm like, okay, where is it? So they want to take me there. I talked about this on Monday. But now I don't know what their motives are, because the way things work here is when somebody helps you, they're somewhat expecting some sort of return of money or return of something. That's what it seems like around here. That seems to be the theme. I guess there's not enough cash flow coming in, so people are like, I helped you out, so I should get something for directing you to wherever. That seems to be a theme here. So now I have to be cautious of when somebody goes, oh, yeah, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to take you somewhere, because I'm thinking in my head now the way they operate here. OK, so when I get there or come back, they're going to be asking me for some sort of money because they helped out. So now that I know that people do that here, then I'm going to almost apply that to almost everybody. I shouldn't, but that's what I'm going to do. Be like, okay, this is what we're operating in. So when somebody says, hey, I'm going to help you do this, now I'm thinking, okay, it's a monetary transaction. They're not going to say it until we get done or until something happens. Then it's like, hey, man, I helped you out. Why don't you give me some money? I'm like, what? Okay, I thought you were like showing me where to go, help me out. Now all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I just need some money. I'm like, what the hell, man? So that's how it has happened several times. I see this is the lay of the land. All right, so we'll have to play accordingly. But now I'm finding out all the little, like I say, all the little nuances of what they do, which also affects other people. So when other people come here and want to do business here, and people are doing business a certain way, that could actually tend to push people away. So once again, we don't want people pushed away. We want this inclusive. We have people here that live here, and they don't want any of this new things going on, because it looks to them like it changes the way of their life. The price of goods and services rise because of tourism, not because of anything other than profits. So they are now having to pay more money, but don't make more money from wages. So now you have people that resent you for being here, being a person, making the prices go up, getting part of the real estate or businesses and things of this nature. I mean, there's all kind of dynamics at play, and it's very, very fascinating. It's almost like crabs in a barrel trying to get out, and they're just stopping each other from getting out. It's crazy stuff happening, crazy stuff that I've encountered. So this is why I immerse myself sometimes into the countries or places that I'm going to potentially invest even more money into or do business. Now I get to find out. I got to find out who's trustworthy. Hell, I even started questioning my attorneys because I don't even trust them at this point. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's all crazy. Now I've lost my trust in a lot of people around here. Not that my attorneys haven't done anything. It's just that I'm not even trusting them based on how everybody else is acting. That's what I'm trying to say. So we will see what happens. How long you're going to be there? Just another, probably another 3-4 days. The outside said I think I'm only going to be here for like till Tuesday, Monday, probably Tuesday. I think I was going to leave tomorrow, but once again, I'm in the lawyers talked. I'm supposed to have a check from an entity. Entity did not cut a check today, so we'll see if they cut the check tomorrow after they made up all these excuses. You guys are going to find out more about it after I get the check, but we'll talk about it because it's something you guys know about, but I'm not going to talk about it right now until I find out what happens, because I'm waiting, because I told these guys, I said, oh, it's BS what they're doing and BS what they're saying. I said, but I'll say I'm going to accept a check, so let's see what happens. Okay, 24 hours, 48 hours, 24 hours they had a check, could have cut today, not cut. Tomorrow, we'll find out what happens, but I have a feeling it's not coming. We're going to find out, but I will be blasting them either way. But the point of the matter is, I'm going to sit here and wait and watch. And that also means other things are at play too, because I'm watching who I have to go through, who I have to lever this with. All these things are coming into play. Some deals I actually did, some other money's being held on some other stuff. So I'm sitting here watching everybody, how they play. And what I'm finding out is they're playing just like third world country. They're just trying to make sure they get your money and figure out a way to keep your money. That's what they're trying to figure out around here. How much you're making so we can take more money from you. So we're going to find out. Good for you. It's a jungle. You have to be ready to rumble with business there. Competition is fierce. My brother-in-law is involved with politics there, so I understand your point. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy. You got people that have vendettas. It's wild. They're just like, oh, this guy didn't want to work with me. He tried to work with somebody else. So I called up my friends to not work with him. I'm like, what did you just say? What the hell is going on around here? So you have people unbeknownst to you that could possibly be blocking what you're doing and not even realize it. And what that looks like is this. I need a permit. I need you to approve this. You don't know why they're not approving it and not getting your permit in a timely fashion. It's one of their cohorts that could have walked up and said, I don't like that guy. Don't give him his stuff right now. Make him wait. That's how simple this is, because you're not part of the island life. You're not from here. This is crazy stuff that they're doing over here, which could be detrimental to this thing of ours. Right? If you're a real estate investor, you're thinking your property value is going to increase and everything's going to be lovely because they're spending billions of dollars here. Well, if this hold continues where people are trying to block people, trying to stop businesses from happening, stop things from happening that's related to improving economically the island, now you're going to understand why there's a level of people of the haves and have-nots. Because the haves don't want to share and the have-nots are still trying to keep other people down. It's crazy when you have that type of environment. So that seems to be what's going on as far as I can tell here. There's only a few people that's down. I met a few people that's actually down to make something happen. But at the same time, it's like there's the other forces are going, look at this. Don't let them do it. Stop him from doing this. That's what this is like around here. People readily have admitted to me that that's what they've actually done or talked about doing to other people, calling up. I'm just like, is this for real what you're saying right now? I'm like, good God, and automatically off the trustworthy list. I'm just like, hold on a second. Hold on. You shouldn't have said this. You're doing this to people? I'm like, hold on, you're suspect now. That means you could be doing this to me. That's not a good thing. So I'm like, hold on a sec. I'm not down. You guys play these games. I start getting to be the old me. And the old me isn't I mean, like I say, I'm a nice guy anyhow, but the old me start taking prisoners. I start doing stuff that's even worse. I start taking prisoners, and I make sure I block you from even doing anything that can block me. That's all I do. I just take your business, and then I say, you know, take your customers. I do whatever damage a different way when people cross me. I haven't done that in a long time, but like I said, I'll start taking prisoners if people keep messing with me. And right now I'm counting up my prisoner list. I got a few people on my prisoner list already. I'm just making sure, crossing my I's, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and making sure that they really should belong on my prisoner list. Because that's where this is heading. Because when I always tell people, sometimes it ain't about the money. And people look at me like, what does that mean? I said, I'm just telling you right now, sometimes it ain't about the money. Because once you don't give me my money, it ain't about the money. That means might have to destroy your ass. So that's how it works with me. The way you're making business there, especially with Airbnb, is by getting renters to return to your place. That's why first impression has to be perfect. Exactly. And speaking of that, I've been in several different Airbnb locations, and it's underwhelming what I've seen so far. I should talk about this. I'm in like this unit I'm in right now. I had to send the landlord the information. I said, hey man, the last unit that I stayed in, the curtains, like the black curtains behind me, there's a rip in the curtains. And I actually stayed in that same unit like a month ago, and I told them there was a rip in. They haven't done nothing. It's a month. All they have to do is go down and get some new curtains. I don't know how much they cost, but it doesn't matter. There's a rip in the curtains, and they're still there. So I stayed in this unit also like a month ago. And the toilet has water's leaking, so to speak, not from underneath, but the water just keeps running, spilling into the bowl. Same thing like a month ago, not even changed. So it's not like my problem. It's not like it's a problem. It just water keeps running. If there's a water bill, you're going to have an issue. So I just said, okay, so if this is how they're operating, this is kind of weird, because this first impression thing is not a good thing. And I got to say I won't even say this other thing, but I'm not impressed with some of the furnishings that have been the choices that these companies have put in the furniture package. I'm not impressed. They basically have put in cheapy ass. Okay, first of all, there's a situation with humidity. So you really can't use stuff that you might use other places, like woods, because they'll just dry out. It's like you have to use almost like a plasticky type of nylons, plastics, things like that can withstand humidity, temperature change. So I've been in, I'm not even going to give a name, but I'm in these places. The furniture package, clearly the same furniture package in several places because they're related complexes. And it's like after a year, you can easily tell the wear and tear. And after a year, it's like they need to replace the furniture. It's seemingly these places are less than 2 years old. They already need to replace the furniture. And I'm pretty sure they don't have 90% occupancy either. So that's a shame. So that just lets you know you need quality of furniture is important in high humidity places. That's a must. And that seems to be a problem. And I learned something else, that I don't want a 50-some square meter place either. That's all I can say. You don't have enough room at 50 square meters, not 56. 50 square meters. It seems you don't have enough room in your living room, dining room combo enough room to put a dining room table. It seems like it's in the middle of the room. It's crazy. Don't want a 67 square meter, 69 square meter, 2-bedroom. You're not going to have enough space in your living room. Your living dining area is crazy. So that little thing, I understand numbers a little better because I've been in several different units. So that's been a lesson that I've learned also. So now it does matter the size you get of units. So when somebody says a 1-bedroom is like 600 square feet, I like that better. 700 square feet, even better. So all I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, just check it out. But yeah, your brother-in-law, this statement right here is for sure. Competition, you know, it's kind of weird. When you say competition is fierce, it's almost like there is no real competition. That's the thing. It's like if you open up a business, you just need to let people know you're open. It's like, it's weird. It's hard to figure out how people do things here. Why? Because the people with the money are the tourists. The people that live here, they don't have that much disposable income. So they're going to they'll go to their grocery store, pay their energy bills, but it's not like they're going to be eating out at La Bruja, right? I mean, the majority of people. So the competition part is very interesting because it seems like a lot of people are all looking for that tourist dollar. They need that tourist dollar because Dominicans are like, no, I'm not going to spend $40 for drinks and eating. I'm not going to spend $50 or $75 or $100 for 4 people to eat and drink. I'm not doing it. So that's where this dynamic's coming from. Like right now, I don't know what would happen. What's competition if there's no tourist here? I know a lot of places are closed. Like, well, let's call it what it is, restaurants. I know a lot of them are closed, not open. You can walk by, nobody's there but 1 or 2 people. I mean, later on at night, it gets kind of busy, but still it's nowhere near the February, March, or April amount of people because it's like nobody's in any location. It's crazy. The grocery store, not that many people. The restaurants, not that many people. At the beach, I haven't been there, but when I was at the beach for Noval Beach Club, there was hardly anybody at the beach, which would make sense if there's not that many tourists, right? So once again, this has been an eye-opener. And also, I think you can do damage here if you have business in a different way, in a much different way. I would fire the management company on the spot if something like that happens to me. That is Airbnb 101. It's so damn basic. If you aren't taking the time to fix that, then this isn't for you. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. This is pretty crazy when you think about it. I mean, seriously, it's like this is what you have to do. And you want to know something else that's alarming to me is just in this quality. I don't know in the future, but in this particular quality, these places are nice. They have their pool. They're nice. They have the security guard, but they're simple units, but that doesn't matter. They're units. And what's outside for your amenities doesn't really matter. The unit matters most. And what I'm seeing is a deterioration of projects. These things are only 2 or 3 years old. And you could see the deterioration on the furnishings. You can see the deterioration on your cabinets and doors, how they're warped. I mean, all kind of things that you take for granted if you're a California kid because there's low humidity. But, you know, it's things that you're thinking this thing's only 2 years old, 2.5 years old. What's going to happen? You're finding out toilets. I've been in 2 units where the buildings are 2.5 to 2 years old, and the toilet is an issue. Whether it's just water is coming out, or the seal between the floor and the toilet at the bottom is a problem. I mean, it's uncanny. And the rip curtain thing, it wasn't just this last unit. It's like half of the units have like rip curtains. This unit doesn't, though. But all I'm saying is it's crazy. And also, there's other things that are weird too. So windows that don't have screens on them. So they're making windows with two lines. So you can open up either side. So you have crossing windows, but they didn't put another slot so you can have screen windows, which is weird. So that's another one of my little pet peeves. You got to have screen in a place that you need windows open on occasion. You got to have screen windows, right? Again, like this place right here. Well, I can't see it though. This place right here, no screen on the slider door. I mean, this is common here though. It's like, I'm like, what the heck is going on? It's nice nights, like, well, a month back or 2 months back, it was nice at night. So you didn't mind the breeze coming through, the windows open, and then you find out no screens. These are my little pet peeves. So there's something to be said about cheaper pricing and better quality builds. All right. The places I'm staying in are relatively inexpensive when they were built. We're probably talking about these one bedrooms are probably 99 to 119,000. Best case. I don't even think they're 119. I remember at Coral Village, they were 89 grand. You could have got a special at 79. So, and then at this other location, seems like it might have been 99, 109, 119. Best case. So all I'm saying is the build quality is somewhat to be desired, but not for the whole thing. I mean, like the tile works nice. Everything works. It's just that deterioration is happening right before your eyes. You know, like I say, doors are warped because they don't have the doors. They didn't buy the doors that are sealed. It's all kind of little stuff, you know, no electronic locks. You have to have keys to, you know, stuff like that because it was inexpensive. So that's why now properties are going to cost more, but is the quality going to be better? I don't know. We're going to find out. So just keep all this in mind when you're out here buying at a higher price. Make sure you know what type of quality build you're going to get. But again, we're in humidity areas, and using woods or any particle boards or anything like that, I think is automatically going to warp. You're going to have to deal with that in a shorter time frame. It's not going to last you 10 years before you're going to have to do something. It seems to be to me 2.5 to 5 years is like you're going to have to start replacing things. That's pretty fast on a new build. So just letting you know. But Victor Morell's right. If you're not willing to get things done, then you shouldn't even be in Airbnb biz because there's going to be problems. And the older the unit is, like I've always said, there's going to be more maintenance to deal with. So that's why it's kind of weird to see stuff at 2 years, 2.5 years with these maintenance issues. It's quite shocking. So we will see. All right, we'll be at the Hard Rock 18th of June. Hot weather is fine. I'll be in the water cranking up mojitos. Well, you better be in the water, man. It's going to be a scorcher out here. I can only imagine what's going to keep happening this summer. It's scorchers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap it up. So you saw the Billionaires or Millionaires class. If you didn't see the beginning of this video, I suggest you look at it because we go over the top 10 businesses that the billionaires are in. If you want to be a millionaire or billionaire, then you should consider being in those type of businesses. If you invest in the stock market, you're already in one of the businesses. If you own a business or a company and running business, buying businesses, then you are going to be in the millionaire billionaire class. You're already setting yourself up. If you don't think short-term rentals or long-term rentals is a business, that's a business. That's real estate. So if you own one, that's cool. But what if you own 3 or 4? Now you have management. You're a conglomerate in reality. 4 units, 3 units. That's business. When the price increases, that gives you opportunities. Maybe you want to take out equity in all 3 or 4, which gives you enough money to buy another piece of real estate. Or maybe you switch up and say, I want to buy a business that makes profit already instead of a startup. So these are the type of things that you have to think about. So hopefully you set your new goals, because financial pain is coming. 3 years you have. I'm retiring in 3 years from YouTube. Just letting you know. All right. So you better get the best of what you can get out of me for the next 3 years, because as of June 2027, the lights go out, just like Johnny Carson. Everybody has to have the lights go out. And so that would put in my, let's see, 9 years. I will be on YouTube. Maybe by then they'll let our videos be seen, because we'll be at what, 1,500 to 1,600, maybe at 2,000 videos at that point. Maybe they'll then let thousands of people find the channel. We'll see. But make sure you share the videos, ladies and gentlemen, because you never know what somebody's out here looking for. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, and it's only going to get worse. You got 3 years. And in fact, some of you only have a year to a year and a half. When they reduce those interest rates, everything skyrockets. And you're not going to love it then either. But you got 3 years for the upper middle class wipeout. Those making 6 figures to 200,000. You're about to live in that paycheck to paycheck world in the next 3 years. So just stay tuned, and you better make plans now. And with all that said, make sure you stay safe out here, because you never know what somebody's going through. You know, a large percentage of the population is being stressed out. So make sure you're considerate, maybe understanding a little bit more of what people are going through. So with all that said, just make sure you stay safe and keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.